Good morning, everyone. This is Charlie Pankey's here, Right Now Podcast. Boy, do we have exciting news out of the Carson City for you today. You're going to want to stick around. We're not talking about just Carson City, but we're talking about big event that they're launching that's going to include the PCT. It's going to talk about trails. We're going to talk about the summer in Carson City and just a whole series of things here in Carson City we're super excited about. This is part of our series that we're doing our hometown spotlight this quarter, where we're spotlighting where we live at and all the things that we love. But they have big news in Carson City. I can't wait to share with you today, so stick around. As always, wherever you're at today, I hope to see yours in your future. Stick around. We'll give you some tips about what you might do this summer. So today our guest is Lydia Beck from Visit Carson City, and we thank you so much, Lydia. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Charlie, thanks so much. How about yourself?
We're doing well here in the home office and working away today. So the blue sky from the weekend kind of disappeared. We got these gray clouds. I'm not sure where that's at from.
Yeah. Sure did.
Hopefully in a few weeks we'll be at full spring flower bloom. The trails will be ready to go. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Carson City's waterfall is ready to rock and roll up there already.
It is.
Yeah.
We're in full bloom here in Carson City already. It already happened last week. It came really early, so we are enjoying all the
there you go.
colors.
Tip, I'm heading up the mountain this weekend then.
Yeah.
You have some, what are those big yellow flowers on the hillside in Carson City? They're just gorgeous.
I believe you're talking about rabbit sagebrush, the like really big sagebrush trees.
Oh no, there's actually there's other flowers. It's all over the range, and I should go look it up. But
I know what you're talking about, and I don't know the name.
it's a desert flower. It's very gorgeous. I'll get it later for you guys. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. So Lydia, we're so excited to have you here today. Carson City last year made some big news in trail environments in the West, and now this month is kind of coming to fruition, if you will. You got some big announcements coming out. And so I want to let you tell the guests what's going on in Carson City that we should be aware of, and we'll kind of dig into it.
Sure, absolutely. So in July, this started in July of 2023, actually, when our Capital to Tahoe Trail opened, which is our first single track connection from Carson City up to Lake Tahoe. It connects with the TRT.
Gorgeous.
And of course, that connects with the Pacific Crest Trail. And so we did some press around it when it was opening because we wanted to let people know. I mean, it is a world-class trail for hikers, mountain bikers, equestrians too. That section of trail is about 10 miles. However, it connects with the Ash to King. So if you actually want to go from the steps of the Capitol up to Tahoe, it's about 16 miles.
Yep,
so
exactly.
We knew we had something really special, and we have a very progressive city when it comes to quality of life and when it comes to outdoor recreation. They're constantly evolving and creating wonderful opportunities for residents and visitors. And so we have an incredible trails coordinator here in Carson City. His name's Greg Berggren. So we were doing some press about the Capital Tahoe Trail. In an interview, he said, I just think it's really incredible that you can walk from the steps of the Capitol and go to either Canada or Mexico from there. And I was like, light bulb. I'm like, let's see if someone will actually do it. And the Carson City to Canada Quest was born with the help of our really creative marketing agency that helped us get some of the specifics down. But we wanted to see if someone could do it. And so we chose Canada just to keep it to one location and try to make things a little bit easier. But the goal is we wanted to have people apply to be a candidate, to be one of two people that would hike all the way from Carson City up to Canada. And if they make it to Canada, then we're going to pay them $5,000 each.
That's great. And you had like 350 entrants into this, correct?
We did, yeah. Over 350 from all over the world, from New Zealand to Africa to Belgium to you name it. A majority were from the U.S., of course, but this really launched. We had an incredible amount of press that came from it, but Backpacker Magazine picked us up, and their socials really, I think, got spread far and wide. So we're really grateful for that. But once we started going through applications, it was really hard to narrow down, but we chose two really amazing women that actually, out of happenstance, both happened to be from Colorado. And it just kind of worked out that way, and they're amazing, and we're really excited to have them hit the trail here from Carson
and so
in June.
If you're listening to us today, we are interviewing each of these ladies. We actually just did the first lady Audrey Payne last week, and we're going to bring that to you this week as you're watching this show. And tomorrow we're going to interview Juliana. I forget Juliana's last name.
Julianne Mahoney.
Mahoney. So we're very excited to bring those to you. So as you're watching today, put on your calendar this week. You'll be able to see the rest of the episodes with the ladies. They're really awesome. So, but sorry, I'll interrupt you, Lydia.
No, that's okay. That's what I was saying. They're just incredible women and thru hikers and backpackers and hikers at heart. And the whole goal of this, there's a social media aspect that we tied to it, because the whole goal is we do want to tell more people about the Capital to Tahoe Trail. So of course we want them to talk about it, but we also want to be along for the ride. We want to see this journey unfold. And I think it's a really special time with social media that you really get to see a lot of people's journeys, but so few people do this. I think it's also just shining a really cool light on thru hikers too, and what their experience is like.
For the last, I'd probably say 5 to 7 years, I've followed at least one person, for the entire journey. For about this time of year, you start to see them hit the trail, and you just kind of find a social media profile, and you can literally follow them, YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, just follow them along. And it's really pretty unique to hear some of the battles they faced, some of the personal victories they accomplished over the way, and just kind of their wonder of what it is to be in nature for that long. It's pretty cool to watch, right?
I haven't met, even through all these interviews that we've done of the people that we narrowed down and the videos we watch, you're hard pressed to not find a thru hiker that isn't just a unique human being. And they all have a story to tell. And that was really heartwarming and interesting to really be a part of them telling that story and being on the receiving end of that. So it made it difficult to choose, but it's a really interesting niche group of humans that I have really enjoyed getting to understand better.
Yeah, I talked to Audrey the other day that one of the things we're doing here at Sierra Rec this year is this idea of tell your Sierra story, that we all are part of the Sierra story in history. We all have maybe legacy stories, but right now in time, we're part of the story. So to tell that story and to let people shine. So I think the PCT and these hikers, they do a great job of, sharing that, especially as they're walking through the Sierra and Tahoe region. Especially, I want to go to Carson City real quick because, we're from the West. Carson City has a really rich Western history to it with, the Capitol and the Mint and Virginia City and, all the stagecoach stuff that used to go on here with the trains and everything. Where does this fit? In your vision, where, capital to Canada, this is kind of a new legacy for ways to explore the West, if you will, right? In this age. How do you guys envision that long term? Where do you think it fit its place? Was there a thought to that when you guys built it, I guess?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. There's two things that Carson City is really known for. Being the capital city, of course, is history. We're kind of like the Wild West with a modern twist. We've got that really charming downtown, and we've got a lot of that history, but that mining history really lives in Virginia City, about 30 minutes away. So, of course, if people come to Carson City, it's rare that they don't go to Virginia City, and kind of likewise, especially if they're traveling from afar, they're really exploring the region. And that's what Carson City does really well. We sit in the center of it all, right? We are 30 minutes in any direction. You're either in Carson Valley, Virginia City, Reno, or Tahoe. And then that's the beautiful thing, that people really use us as a hub for adventure for Northern Nevada. And we're an affordable, quaint, slower pace. And so I think that's where our sweet spot lies is, yes, there's a lot to do in Carson City, but you can stay here and it's really easy to explore the region. And so the Capital to Tahoe Trail is just, we have over 100 miles of trails. I don't think people know that in Carson City. And it's a great mountain biking destination. Even, Pete Stetna is doing his Stetna's Pay Dirt ride and turning even the pine nuts and all of that sand and gravel out there into a gravel destination too. So, all over Carson City is really a wonderful place to recreate. So I would say history and outdoors is really what we're known for and what people love us for, but also that proximity to Tahoe. And the ease of access and that slower pace, it really still allows you to go to the big adventure if you really want it, or stay a little bit more quaint and just here in Carson City.
It's one of the ways I explain our area too. We're a 4-season outdoor recreation area, right? You could be a world-class skier and be at ski resorts in 30 minutes from down here. And then they come down the rest of the day and go mountain biking or cycling all year long down here on dirt trails and highways that are kind of catered to cyclists. You really have all that luxury. And then if you want to golf, that's open all season long too.
Yeah, absolutely. The golf here, you really can't beat. We've got some amazing courses too. So
we do,
we really kind of tick all the boxes when it comes to outdoor options and ease of access to them.
Yeah, we celebrated our 10th anniversary last summer at Sierra Rec, and one of the things that I think about you guys is that it seems that over maybe I'll be wrong, probably last 7-8 years, Carson City has really transformed itself as what I would consider an outdoor hub, especially for the mountain biking and hiking community. Right? They've really done a ton of work on trails, and then in partnership with Carson Valley,
Mm-hmm.
the trail network on the entire eastern Carson Ridge is such a dynamic variety of trails that take you up and down the Tahoe Rim Trail, across the ridge. I mean, you could really bike pack the whole ridge here in lots of different routes. It's pretty cool to
Oh,
think about as a
absolutely.
hiker. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's hard to beat. It's really hard to beat. It can get as difficult or easy as you want, whether you're on the west side or the east side here in
Mhm.
Carson City anyway. But yeah, I agree. That connection, I think there's an initiative of people who are working on what they're calling the V&T Trail. And
Mhm.
so really trying to connect also Reno to Carson City via trail. And so you can
Yep.
get now there from Carson, just about from Carson Valley up to Carson City. But man, to be able to connect all three of those areas would really be a beautiful thing. But I mean, the options now are pretty wonderful too. But I think there's still a vision where people are really trying to push for that too. And I
Mhm.
be hard pressed in the next 15 years that we're not all connected in some way.
Absolutely. I've talked to the V&T group that are
Great.
doing that, and we've dreamt. Imagine starting in Truckee. You could literally take the trail down from Truckee all the way into Reno, come down to Virginia City, Carson City, down to Carson Valley. I mean, what a bike packing trip that could be, right?
It would be incredible. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm just so excited to see what comes, and we're
Mhm.
really, like I said, with Greg at the helm and our open space department on top of it. Carson City is
Yeah.
some of the most incredible open space options too. We're just really lucky that they're wonderful collaborators on top
Yeah.
of it, which really brought this quest to life. Greg was even part of the interview process for us.
Oh, fun.
And so, I mean, the city, we work really well with them. And I think that collaboration has really worked out well and brought some really cool things to life as well.
That's great. Let's go back to the Kaplan quest. I got us off base a little bit, wanted to kind of bring Carson City to the forefront there. But so these two ladies are from Colorado. I did talk to Audrey already. I know
Mm-hmm.
she's actually going to be doing the whole PCT. So she's kind of doing
Yeah.
a stopover, right? So she's doing a stopover and celebrating with you guys and then taking off and doing the route. I haven't talked to Juliana yet, so I'm not sure if she's starting here, or she's kind of doing the same
She's
thing with the
starting in
PCT.
Carson City. Yeah, so
Okay.
they're trying to time it out, and we hope it works out that the both of them are in Carson City at the same time towards
Okay.
the end of June. And then they will start off together, and whether or not they stay together or not, but they're hopefully
Sure.
going to get up the Cap to Tahoe together. And we'll be able to meet them and do a little meet and greet day before we send them off. And we're just super excited about it. And Audrey had applied, but mentioned that she wanted to do the whole PCT, and of course we weren't going to say no. And she's well versed and obviously done the Appalachian.
Yeah, she had done the AT before this. Yeah, exactly. Talked to her, and it's 1,600 miles, correct, from Carson City to Canton, right? That's fantastic. So the route up to Tahoe Rim Trail, just if you're a listener not sure where we're at here, it's like about 10.6 miles, 11 miles up
It
Tahoe Rim
is,
Trail. Is that what you
yeah.
said?
So you will connect. You'll connect to the Lincoln Bike. So it's in the Kings Canyon area. If you know where our Kings Canyon waterfall is, most people do. That's our short, like 0.3 waterfall hike. It's beautiful. So you'll start in that canyon area, and then you can take the Lincoln Bypass Trail, which connects to the Ash to Kings. And then from Ash to Kings, you can connect up to the Cap to Tahoe. So it does take a little bit of legwork to get to the Cap to Tahoe. You can't just access it, right away by car or at a trailhead. You can drive a little bit up towards the Ash to Kings. But that's the route they'll take. They're going to start at the steps of the Capitol, and we'll send them off from there.
That's fantastic. That'll be a nice walk, easy walk up there too for them. And then once they're at Tahoe Rim Trail, this summer is kind of interesting because Marlette Lake area is closed, but they're going to stay above there anyway, so it doesn't affect them. Luckily, do you think they will go south and go down and meet back like in 50 and hit Desolation Wilderness to go through, or will they more likely go north and like the Truckee area in the north? Do you have a thought on which path they might join?
To be honest, we haven't checked that route yet, and I'm sure that they'll let us know. So I don't want to speculate. But we just kind of assumed that, and forgive me, I'm looking at my map because that part I was pregnant when the when the Captain Tahoe Trail opened.
Oh, okay.
So I've only been on certain sections and I haven't been able to get up there. But they'll normally go like through Laxall Flat and then kind of probably head north.
Head north, right.
Northwest.
I was telling Audrey that to take her a small bag of bird seed so she can feed the chickadees as she's passing through Chickadee Ridge going through. And she goes, "You can do that?" I go, "Yeah, it's like your princess moment right there in the mountain." So,
pro tips. I'm so glad you told me that. Yes, absolutely.
Little local pro tip. Yeah, that you're going to do this right. Well, that's such a fascinating trip. I know that Julian, she's actually going to be starting with her dog for a little bit of the trip, which is kind of cool too.
So. We hope so. We just heard from her that he's got a little bit of a leg injury, so he's up in the air right now. But we hope that Indy is her dog's name, and we hope that the pup can make it on the trail. But I don't want to disappoint anyone if they can't.
Gotcha.
But he's got a little bit of injury that's taken some time to heal, so we're gonna see what happens there.
No problem. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. I understand that. I personally like taking my dog on the trail. I know she's been on the Ash Canyon Trail system up there, and it's just a great place to have your pet with you too, and just enjoy the outdoors. So that's a wonderful piece of it. So what's next for the quest? You guys are going to launch this year, and you hopefully worldwide this kind of gets caught up. Maybe you have some groups of people start here next year, and maybe they go south. Who knows? Do you guys have future plans past this year? Or are you kind of waiting and seeing?
To be honest, we're kind of waiting and seeing. We really want to see how this goes. Given that we've only really had one season since it's opened, we're trying to also just figure out, when the snow is really going to melt. So snowpack obviously is a huge factor in something like this. But we hope that this just opened doors and brings awareness to Carson City as an outdoor destination recreation. And then I'm not sure if you've even heard about the adventure centers that are going to be opening in Boulder City and in Carson City in 2026 through Travel Nevada.
No, I have not. No.
Yeah,
you want to share some breaking news here?
Yeah, so we are thrilled. So we're going to have an adventure center pretty much right in front of the Railroad Museum that's going to bring outfitters to Carson City and really serve as a hub to the region. We hope that maybe there was talks of potential shuttles of bringing people back and forth or doing tours up to Tahoe. And so it really helps spread the visitor around the region and bring more access to the outdoors for those who can be overwhelmed by the amount of options that are up to Tahoe. Sometimes it's hard to get up there and really understand all that there is. And so we hope that this brings easy, accessible options to Carson City. So
That's fantastic.
We're thrilled to be a location for the adventure centers that are coming. And I think that those are just going to be another thing to help bring awareness to the outdoors here.
Absolutely. I think that's wonderful. Anything that give shuttle service up to Tahoe and back and forth, or different places where you can drop off trailheads and access. I know Tahoe's working on that a lot. And you guys have part of that because your county actually runs up to the shores in parts of Tahoe.
It does.
Is Sand Harbor actually technically in your county?
It is not. So we own 6.2% of the lake. Gotcha. Fun fact, I think it's about 12 miles of shoreline. So it goes from Seeker Beach basically to about Chimney Beach. Yeah, that little section is beautiful. It's a little bit farther south of Skunk Harbor. So that whole little section, which is one of the most beautiful parts of the lake, is all in Carson City.
It's where all the people drop down from the road and hike down.
Exactly. Exactly. And then they've got the East Shore Trail that will be extending all the way down that way. So
isn't that exciting?
That's thrilled.
Super exciting. That's going to be, the first part of that is beautiful. So
it is.
That's definitely going to be a neat extension for you guys there. And so these two gals are going to take off, let's say in late June, mid-June, and then they'll probably reach Canada in September at some point. It was 1,600 miles, so some point in September. Do you guys have plans of going up and meeting them there if you're able to communicate? Or
that's the goal. Okay. So we had a wrench in the plans that happened where they're not allowed to enter into Canada now from the PCT, which really threw a wrench in our plans because you have to do like a 30-mile loop around in order to even access them at that point of the trail. So unless we're up for also backpacking 30 miles in, it might prove difficult. So we might have to maybe maybe meet them back in Colorado or something of the sort. But
there you go.
I have dreams of presenting 2 giant checks to those ladies that I hope we get to do. So we're going to have to see how that goes.
Absolutely. So for this year, at least you guys are going to hopefully be able to give them $5,000 each, and they for accomplishing this great feat, they get to be part of your social media feeds. How do guests follow along best? I mean, what's going to be the easiest way for them to follow this summer? What are your plans for promoting it throughout the year?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be collaborating on all posts that they do. So our Visit Carson City social channels will have consistent updates, probably about one a week. And so we'll have all of their social handles tagged as well. So
Okay.
it'll be easy. They'll probably have more updates on their personal channels, of course, than we will
Sure.
have, because we're still running our everyday lives over here at Visit Carson City. But we'll have their socials linked. But ours is a great place to just kind of find and get some updates about what's going on.
That's fantastic. That it should be a lot of fun to go through this summer. We have such a busy summer already, and you guys have so many things, with downtown, all the activities that go on downtown with the concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze here. I apologize.
No, that's okay.
All of a sudden I just go, I know it's gonna sneeze. Maybe that broke out. Maybe take a second here and maybe tell everybody what's going on in Carson City this summer if you got a moment. If you can
Oh my gosh,
some events and
absolutely, yes.
stuff. Or
Our website,
I might sneeze. I
that's
apologize.
okay. Yeah, so visitcarsoncity.com/quest will have also like a tracker of where they are. We'll do some delayed tracking for safety, of course. So it won't be live updates, but we'll track where they are and more about what's happening. But also our events calendar on visitcarsoncity.com is really the go-to place for anything happening in Carson City. So our events are one of the most fun things that happen throughout the summer and throughout the winter. So in May, the V&T Railway train will kick off. We have Brewfest happening at the end of May. We have the Taste of Downtown in June. And then we just have really small events at the Brewery Arts Center, whether it's, we've got Cinco de Mayo coming up too. But the Brewery Arts Center has become the hub and go-to party throwers of Carson City.
Absolutely.
And they, we got our free concert series every Saturday. So, man, the city just comes alive. And the city is not shy about shutting down a street to be able to throw a really fun event. And Mark Twain Days is actually going to be coming downtown right in front of the Capitol building.
Oh, because that used to be out at the park there, didn't it? Wasn't that used to be out? I forget the name of the park.
That's okay. No, we weren't ever in a park. We were, this is the third year of Mark Twain Days. So it's happening mid-October this year. So we've changed from the spring to October. And so we've had the first one was downtown kind of over a few days. And then we went over to the BAC last year, but we're bringing it back downtown.
That's what I remember. I mean, it's BAC, I remember.
Yeah. And so it kind of takes over the city, to be honest. So we're really excited about that. And there's just a ton going on, and the summer is a beautiful time to be in Carson.
Yeah, and then we get in fall. We got Nevada Day, big celebrations, and everything going on. When is the gravel thing? I remember that last year. I don't remember.
It's coming up. I believe this year is May 17th. So it's always the second. It's the third Saturday. Yeah, it's the 17th.
I need to reach out to those guys, get them on the show.
Pete is an amazing human, but also a wonderful interview. He's just an interesting guy. So
very good.
Yeah,
I know the gravel crowd is huge in this year too. There's a lot, especially up in Downeyville and north of us. They do a lot of that.
Yeah, that event just keeps growing, keeps getting better. They have put on a truly unique and special event, and cool.
I think that goes on back to what you guys have done the last 7 years to grow the outdoor community. I mean, the business community has changed. There's more breweries. There's more trails. It's just a lifestyle change. Even that, trail right down the middle of the city that goes from one end to the other, it seems like, on the east side. I mean, it's just all part of the travel of making it bike friendly and commuter friendly.
It is. Yeah. I think it's all connected. I think back in the 90s, the residents approved a tax that was for quality of life, and it only has steamrolled into being really ahead of the game and collaborative and just wanting nothing but a great quality of life in this city. And that just continues to happen with great leadership and collaboration, and it's just it's a great community to be a part of and to work in.
Fantastic. Well, I didn't prep you for this, but we're almost through our half hour here. So I have 3 outdoor questions for you personally. So I'm going to give you a moment to think about it while I run a real quick thing up for our sponsors here. Okay. All right. So obviously, folks, you guys have been with us a while. You know that the Visit Carson Valley, our neighbors of the Carson City, just to the south, are our sponsors here. So we want to make sure we give them a quick shout out and opportunity to look at our wide open space. want to thank the Carson Valley for letting us have shows like Carson City on. They don't have a problem that I'm traveling throughout the Sierra, but they let me go out and showcase the world. And our wide open spaces are like I said, we join Carson City so well with our trails, and the whole lifestyle here is we all are kind of one local area, even competitors in sports, all that
Yes.
stuff. But we love each other. Really, it's just a great place to live. So thank you, Carson Valley, for all that you do. So, okay, Lee, I didn't prep you for these questions. So, you'll have to maybe give a little thought to it, but they're pretty easy questions. Okay.
I hope so.
So let's pretend your bag's packed behind you. You don't
Okay.
have to promote Carson City this weekend. You can if you want to,
Okay.
but you get to go anywhere in the Sierra you want to go play. Where are you going and why?
Oh my gosh, that is a tough question. There's so much I haven't done. I've lived here for 8 years.
Okay.
And so I'm not originally from here. I am from the flatlands of Southern Illinois. And so the Sierra for me are magical in every way. There is so many trails, or like the Flume Trail and around Tahoe, that I haven't done, that I feel like I have to be like the lamest answer, but I'd love to conquer the Flume Trail or even do.
There's nothing wrong with a Lake Tahoe answer, right? I mean, there's every corner of Lake Tahoe is its own adventure. There's just a whole different adventure, whichever corner you're in. So good answer. Not a problem with that at all. All right. Well, after I get done with a day on the trail or riding a bike or doing my outdoor things, I'm always got hiker hunger, right? So eating afterwards is a big deal. So if you get outside, you're riding a bike, going hiking, traveling around the Sierra, what's your go-to meal? And you can pick something in Carson City if you want to just shine them right now. But
You know what? My favorite thing to do. So I live near Genoa. So I actually live in Carson Valley.
Okay.
So I'm lucky to be a visitor all the time in Carson City.
Yep.
But man, you cannot beat a burger at the burger cart and a beer at the Genoa bar afterwards.
There you go.
You know,
there you go. I've never eaten at the burger cart. I'm gonna have to go try that out.
It just opened for the season this weekend. So that one is, I think Genoa is just a special place. So I like to ride my bike up and down Jacks Valley Road. Before I had my kid. And I have a 1.5-year-old, so I have my activeness is usually just chasing her around lately. So I'm a little rusty, but coming back after a ride there and just grabbing a beer and grabbing a burger is one of my favorite things to do.
Very cool. I'm going to tie those into. I haven't actually done the whole thing, but the mountain bikers tell me there is a way to get from Genoa to downtown Carson City. If you take the Clear Creek Trail up, there's a way to cross over. I don't know where that trail's at, but there's a crossover trail there.
I have heard of that legend too. Yes, there are people who have done it, and I've heard other people that when they get to Carson City, I think the best place to stop is in McFadden Plaza, and there's nothing better than like some heavy grub at the Fox and some ice cream next door at Scoops.
Scoops. Good calling, Scoops. There you go.
Yeah, there's so many great places, but that I think it's also just like quaint and amazing to just sit there in the summer in McFadden Plaza. So
I agree. All right. So final question. This was like the kind of trick. We're all gearheads in some way, right? So when you go outdoors, whether mountain biking, kayaking, whatever you like to do outdoors, what's your go-to piece of gear you never leave home without?
Ooh, great question. I'm so new to all of this that I don't know any better yet, Charlie, that I don't
Are you an overpacker or an underpacker then?
Oh, I would say I'm probably an underpacker. I think it's just a backpack with some good snacks and a hydration pack, and set me off on a trail and I'm good. But I would say my absolute favorite thing to do is I swim every Wednesday at Nevada Beach in the summer.
Okay.
Because I used to do some sprint triathlons, and so my wetsuit and my goggles were the thing to not leave home without. So I'd say
that's a piece of gear right there. Good job.
My Synergy wetsuit, I'll plug them.
There you go.
Pair of goggles, and I'm set for life for the summer.
That is perfect, especially Nevada Beach. That's a nice place to get in the water there.
Man, we do an early morning swim, and no one's there. You got the whole beach to yourself. It is
all the sand.
The most incredible way to start your day. I would say it's not gear, but a Clyde's coffee afterwards is an absolute must.
I get a lot of shout outs for coffee in Tahoe. You guys all your coffee heads are in Tahoe. It's pretty good. Very good. Lydia, we thank you so very much. This Canada, Capital to Canada Quest has really got my eye. I think it's really unique and cool. I mean, 1,600 miles sounds so massive to me, and most of these guys are doing almost 3,200 miles for the whole trail, where it is 29 or whatever. So what an incredible feat to have them try to do it. And I hope it does take off. I hope next year there's 15 people who show up and want to do it,
Me
or
too.
hear stories, right? That's really cool. And if not, that trail from the Capitol up to Tahoe Rim Trail, it's a special trail. It's a great add to our community. So congratulations to all you guys and your trail organization, Outdoor Spaces. It's really pretty awesome. So,
Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate that.
and if you guys are listening out there and you're traveling today, we hope the Sierra is in your sights or in your future. Keep dreaming about places you want to go in the Sierra. Tell your story here. We'd love to tell your story. But ultimately, have a blessed day wherever you're at. I hope you come back next week. This week, just remember, I have the actual ladies who are going to be doing this quest will be on the channel here the next few days. Stay on board with our social channels. We'll get you hooked up, and then make sure you're sharing like this with your friends so they can follow along too. Have a great day where you're at, and thank you for joining us. Thanks, Lydia.
Thanks, Charlie. Take care.